Hey folks, Brendan here from Bluelight. Now, if you are at the point in the police recruitment process where you've got a detective bolt-on coming up, or you've got situational exercises that you might have to do as part of your final interview, or you've got your online assessment center coming up where you've got a written exercise or a briefing exercise, then this video is for you. It's only going to be a short one, but it's based on the past week's worth of experiences, actually the past several years worth of experiences. I've helped thousands of people get into the police over the past decade, over 12,000 now, and that's a conservative estimate, have succeeded in joining the police as a result of my support. One-to-one coaching, webinars, seminars, online courses, all the links are below. And the Facebook group. Please do make sure you're part of that Facebook group. Almost 20,000 members now. People just like you who are preparing for the police recruitment process, and so many serving officers, HR officers, recruitment officers, and we've got some senior officers as well who are there to help support you through the process. So what is it I've really noticed over the past week? Well, when I've been doing my one-to-one coaching and the webinars for the online assessment center, and in the main for the detective bolt-on for the Metropolitan Police, this is where there's an entry exercise to do and a briefing to do. And similarly for the online assessment center, where there's a briefing to do and a written exercise to do. And they are all based on policing scenarios, even though the guidance tells you you don't really need to have any knowledge about police procedures, powers or policy to get into these exercises and succeed in them. All of my clients disagree with that. Once I've actually done those exercises, they all come out of it saying, of course you needed some knowledge of how the police works. How else are you going to talk about, for example, in the briefing for the detective bolt-on, you have to talk about how you're going to approach a serious violent assault. How are you going to do that if you've not got some knowledge about how the policing system works? So one of the things I've noticed is that the uncertainty behind the comments that you're making, so either in the written exercise or the briefing exercise, is using too many words like possibly, could, might, may, or you're being hesitant. I'd say yes, maybe, could be. The police don't like that. They like certainty. They like you to make bold and very decisive decisions. And quite a few of my clients have come out of especially the detective bolt-on, to say that they were tested in their briefing a little bit as to their decision-making process. So once you've done the briefing, there's an interview after that where they were probed as to say, so would you really, how could you justify using so many officers? Would you really go about doing it X, Y, and Z way that you've suggested? Trying to get them to doubt their decisions. But if you've made a good decision based on a sound rationale, then unless you've got any other information or intelligence that's presented to you to suggest that you might want to take a different route, stick with your decision. Be bold. You don't ask people for things. You request or require them to do things. You don't say, I possibly, or I could, or I might, or I may. I will. I am going to. The next stage for me is to do. We are decisive. We are bold in our actions. And it takes away that sort of dithery, vague talk that the police just do not like. How do I know that? Well, I've been working in the sector now for 36 years. No, 37 years now. 28 years as a serving police officer, and the rest of the time as a consultant within the sector, not just doing recruitment stuff, but working with forces to help them with organisational development issues, community policing, problem solving, community engagement, advanced stuff like that. I know how the police are. So that's the first thing to mention. The second thing to mention is the ABCs of policing. Now, if you remember this in any of the exercises that you're doing, it's going to help you along the way. Now, in the exercises that we do in the webinars, they take sort of 2 hours for us to get through. I provide you with, here's an example here, the stage 3 briefing exercise here. If you press pause, you'll be able to read this. There you go. Should I give you another page? It's quite a few pages, but there's a second page as well. Oh, and all my scribbly notes too, all my scribbly notes. But we go through these in a huge amount of detail. And I use a huge amount of models and structures and processes, and Actually, feedback this morning from one of my clients who's dyslexic. She said it was really, really helpful for her because it provides a template-based approach, a systematic and structured approach to deal with any of the exercises. But one of the things I'd like you to bear in mind is the ABCs of policing. And this is how the ABCs go: that you assume nothing, you believe no one until you can corroborate what they're saying based on you challenging the facts that have been put in front of you, because they might not be facts, they might be lies, there might be someone trying to deceive you. So the ABCs of policing: assume nothing, believe no one, corroborate everything, and challenge everything. So it's almost like ABCC. But I've heard it in two different ways. ABC as in assume nothing, believe no one, challenge everything. I've also heard it as assume nothing, believe no one, and corroborate everything. I think it's good to have the two C's in there. And it's not to say that you don't want to believe people, but just because someone's given you an account of something doesn't mean to say that that account is true. They could be doing something called lying. Yes, people do lie to the police. Bizarrely, victims, witnesses, and suspects. In my experience, it's mostly suspects. But sometimes victims have told lies, or they've been economical with the truth, or they've over-egged the pudding a little bit. And our job is to believe what they're saying, but only really believe it when we've challenged what they've said and we've backed it up with other sources of information. So we've corroborated it via things like CCTV or DNA forensic evidence and other statements. So there you go, folks, the ABCs of policing. They will help you. That approach will help you in so many different exercises. If you want more information about those exercises and how to succeed and how to prepare for all of those different situations, like I said, below, all the links. And I look forward to seeing you on one of the webinars. I look forward to seeing you in the Facebook group. That's where you'll find the links, by the way, to the weekly workshops. These are free workshops I run every week to help answer any questions that you might have about the police recruitment process. I don't think there's anyone else in the country who knows more about police recruitment. If you do find that person, by the way, please do introduce them to me. I'd love to meet up with them. We could geek out all day talking about police recruitment stuff. All right, I'll catch up with you soon, folks. Hope you found this useful, and I'll catch up with you soon. Bye-bye for now.